Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. We are discussing 15 practice questions of general aptitude for GATE 2025. We have already covered questions from important topics of quantitative aptitude such as permutation combinations, probability, algebra and geometry. Those videos are already available on our YouTube channel. Please go and watch them and practice those questions. In today's class, we will be solving questions from the topic of logical reasoning. So as you would be knowing already, GATE is giving equal importance to quantitative aptitude as well as logical reasoning. So in today's class, we will be solving a variety of questions of logical reasoning. Let's start. The first question is from the topic of syllogisms. Please pause the video, read the question, give it a try, and once you've given it your 100%, you can cross-check with the solution that we discuss. The statements given are: some books are pens, some pens are cups, all cups are penguins. And the conclusions are: some books are not pens, some cups are pens, all cups are books, and some pens are penguins. So we want to find out which of these conclusions most definitely follow or logically follow based on the statements that have been given, right? So let us first see what is the premises that has been given. Some books are pens, right? So you know we are going to be using Venn diagrams to solve this question, solve these type of questions. So some books are pens means we can have a circle representing books, and we know that some of these are pens, right? So we are referring to this intersection. The next statement says some pens are cups. So some pens are cups can mean that we can have cups here, or we can have, let's say this is books and this is pen, and we can have cups here also. So we don't know what is the relation between cups and books, that we don't know. So either of the two is possible. And all cups are penguins. So now all cups are penguins. So all cups are penguins. Okay. All cups are penguins. Now let us see which of the conclusions most definitely follow. So the key point here is that these conclusions have to be true for both of these situations, right? Only then can we say that yes, it's a logical conclusion, or the conclusion definitely follows, or the conclusion follows logically, right? So the conclusions have to be true in this scenario as well as this scenario. If it is true in only one of the scenarios, then it does not follow. It is not the required answer. Is this clear? So that's the most important thing. It's not key if it follows in any one, that means it is true, right? It has to follow in both of the situations. So the first question is saying, first conclusion is that some books are not pens, right? Some books are not pens, but we have only been given that some books are pens. Some books are pens. So this again is a point where I find most students facing confusion. If I have been given that some books are pens, it does not necessarily mean that some books are not pens. So this is something that you have to remember. So if I have been given that some A is B, right? It does not mean that some A is not B. So this is very, very important. Please remember this. As I said, maximum students have a confusion on this point. Some A is B does not mean some A is not B. So we have only been given that some books are pens. So we cannot conclude that some books are not pens. Second, some pens are cups. So some cups are pens. Is it going to be true? If I have some A is B, then it means that some B is A. So again, something that you need to remember. Okay. So if some pens are cups, then some cups are going to be pens. This is going to be true. What's the third sentence saying? All cups are books. So all cups are books. It is not true. So 3 also does not follow. And some pens are penguins. Some pens are penguins, that is true, right? Because some pens are cups and all cups are penguins. So definitely some of the pens are going to be penguins. So 4 follows. So 2 follows and 4 follows. Now let us look at the options. only 4 follows, only 1 and 2, only 2 and 4. This is the one that we are looking for. The correct answer is option C. So remember these 2 points, that if we have been given sum A is B, it means sum B is A. That's true. But if we have sum A is B, it does not mean sum A is not B. Okay. So remember these 2 points. As I said, again I'm saying that maximum students have a confusion on this point. So remember this. Let us look at the next question. Please pause the video, read it carefully, attempt it, and then you can play the video. Books in a library are coded on the basis of colors: blue as B, green as G, red as R, and white as W. Further, the books can be coded as hardcover H or softcover S. So for example, if a book is coded WS, it means a white softcover book. White softcover books, which are generally preferred by younger generation, constitute 5% of the books in the library. Most hardcover books are green, and the librarian often finds blue softcover books to be issued the most. So based only on the information provided above, which of the following options can be logically inferred with certainty? So information from here to here is of no use, right? They have just told us how it is coded. After that, the real information has been given that white softcover books are generally preferred by younger generation, constitute 5% of the books in the library, and most hardcover books are green, and blue softcover books are issued the most as per the library. Okay, so let's look at the options. Majority of books are not preferred by younger generation. Is this going to be true? We want to find out what can be logically inferred with certainty from the passage. So majority of books are not preferred by younger generation. We have no way to conclude it. The only thing we know about the younger generation and books as such based on this passage is that white softcover books are generally preferred by them. But books in general are preferred or not, we have no information, right? So this is not true. 95% of books are either blue, green or red. Where is this 95% coming from? We have been given 5%. White softcover books constitute 5%. And they are saying 95% of the books are either blue, green or red. Is this going to be correct? No. Why? Because we have been given white softcover books. Only white books are constituting 5% has not been given. We have another condition, white softcover, right? So white softcover books are 5%. So we can't really conclude because there can be hardcover books also. 95% of the books are hardcover. Again, we can't conclude this because we have been given information only about a specific type, white softcover. Of course, we are left with the final option, but let us go through it. At least some softcover books are blue. This is true because we know that blue softcover books are issued the most, right? So this is something that we can directly conclude from the last line. The librarian finds that blue softcover books are issued the most. So definitely at least some softcover books are blue because they are getting issued the most, right? Okay, so option D is our required answer. Of course, you can use elimination method and arrive at it also, but this is pretty evident from the last line that has been given. Clear? So these type of questions look challenging, but if you have the time and the patience to read through the information that has been given and go through the options that have been given, then you will be able to solve the question. The most ideal approach for solving these type of questions is eliminating the options that have been given. So if you eliminate the options one by one, you will eventually arrive at the right answer. Again, this is the type of question, if you feel very intimidating in the examination, then you can mark it for review and come back to it later if you have the time, right? If you are unable to wrap your head around what information has been given and what we want to find out, and it leads to stress or panic in you, then it's just going to be a waste of time. So better you mark for review it, go through, give your entire paper, solve other questions, and then you can come back to it later on. So the last question of the session, again, please pause the video, read through it, read the passage carefully, read the options that have been given, and attempt it. and then you can play the video, right? So in Eastland from 2000 to 2005, the total consumption of fish increased by 4.5% and the total consumption of poultry products increased by 9%. During this time, the population of Eastland increased by 6%, in part due to new arrivals from surrounding areas. So which of the following can be inferred based on the statements above? So we have a lot of information given. Let's read through it again. So in a place called Eastland from 2000 to 2005, the total consumption of fish has increased by 4.5% and total consumption of poultry has increased by 9%, and the population has also increased by 6% during this time. So one point to remember here is that whenever generally in passages where these percentage increases have been given or some percentage has been given, it's always a good idea to have some mathematical assumptions. It's always a good idea to have some mathematical assumptions. That means let us suppose that in 2000 the consumption of fish was, let's say, 100. Then what has it become in 2005? It has increased by 4.5%. So now it is 104.5, right? Similarly, if I take the total consumption of poultry in 2000 to be 100 and in 2005 it has become 109. So that kind of an assumption if we do, it helps generally in most cases where the percentages has been given. But before deciding whether we need to assume the values or not, let us run through the options. Maybe they have asked us something completely different, right? Maybe the statements have nothing to do with the values or the percentages that have been given. So then we don't need to assume. So let's go through the options. Option A says for new arrivals to Eastland between 2000 and 2005, fish was less likely to be a major part of families' diet than was poultry. So we have been given some information about the new arrivals and how fish was less likely to be a major part. But from the data given in the passage, we don't have any such information, right? We don't have any such information, so we can't conclude this. In 2005, let's look at option B. In 2005, the residents of Eastland consumed twice as much poultry as fish. This might have something to do with the mathematical assumptions. So let's keep it on hold. C, the per capita consumption of poultry in Eastland was higher in 2005 than in 2000. So again, something that we might be able to arrive at mathematically. Let's keep it at hold. D says between 2000 and 2005, both fish and poultry products were a regular part of the diet of a significant portion of Eastland residents. The passage definitely has given us information about fish and poultry only, but that does not really mean that was a significant portion of the diet of the Eastland residents. It may be a small portion of their diet because we are only talking about fish and poultry consumption here. Maybe they are having something else which is like the 90% of their diet and only 10% of their diet is fish and poultry, and that's what we are talking about, right? So there is nothing definite in the passage that as such says that fish and poultry is the major food for the residents of Eastland. So between 2000 and 2005, both fish and poultry were a regular part of the diet of a significant portion, regular part of the diet. This is also something that we don't have in the passage, and significant proportion of Eastland residents also we don't have in the passage. So D does not follow. Let us look at B and C. Let's again look at B. B says in 2005, the residents of Eastland consume twice as much poultry as fish. But if you look at the passage, we have not been given the exact amount of fish or poultry consumed. We have not been given that. We only know that consumption of fish increased by 4.5%, consumption of poultry increased by 9%. But option B is talking about the amount of fish or the amount of poultry that was consumed, because they are saying in 2005 the residents of Eastland consumed twice as much. So we are talking about exact quantities. But the passage has not given us any exact quantities. We are only talking about percentage increase. That also, if needed, we have to assume that this has to be in 2000, then this percentage increase gives us that amount in 2005, right? So exact value has not been mentioned. So again, by the method of elimination, we have arrived at option number C as the correct option or the required answer, right? A does not follow because we cannot conclude whether fish was less likely popular or less likely, less likely to be a major part of the diet than poultry based on the information given in the passage. Similarly, B can't be concluded because we don't have the exact amounts. D can't be concluded. Again, as I said, we only know the increase in the consumption of fish and poultry. Nowhere has it been mentioned that they eat only fish and poultry or that is a significant part of their diet. Maybe they are having something else as well. So based on elimination, we have arrived at C. But let us also just go through the mathematical approach that I talked about earlier. So here what we are going to do is we are going to be assuming values. Okay. So here we are talking about the per capita consumption of poultry. Per capita consumption of poultry. So suppose in 2000, the population, right? Population, let's see. I'll do it in the next page. In 2000, right? Suppose the population was, let's say 1000 people, okay? In 2005, I know the population has increased by 6%. So population has increased by 6%, so it has become 1060. As far as the poultry consumption is concerned, poultry consumption, suppose it's 100, poultry consumption is increased by 9%, so 109. So now this option talks about the per capita consumption of poultry. Per capita consumption, right? So per capita. Per capita means what? Divided by the population. Whatever you are calculating, divided by population. So 100 upon 1000 or 109 upon 1060. So this is going to be simply 0.1 and this is 0.102. So something slightly higher, right? And is that what we have in option C? Per capita consumption of poultry was higher in 2005 compared to 2000, right? So hence proved option C is the required answer. So two learnings from this question. Again, first, answer by elimination of options. Second, if you have such percentage increases given in the passage, remember actual amounts have not been given, but we can assume the actual amount and find some value, and that might be useful in order to answer the question. Clear? All carrots are birds, some telephones are carrots, all bed sheets are telephones. The conclusions: all bed sheets are birds, some bed sheets are birds, some birds are telephones, and all telephones are birds. And the options are only 1 follows, only 2 follows, 1 and 3 follows, or only 3 follows. So let us know your answer in the comment section below. The correct answer will be posted after 24 hours in the first pinned comment of this video. So do check it out and let us know your answers as well. If you have any queries or any doubts regarding the questions we discussed in this session, let me know and I will definitely be getting back to you. As informed earlier, we have already covered practice questions of 4 topics of quantitative aptitude. So please go to the YouTube channel and watch those videos, practice those questions as well. And in this video, we discussed logical reasoning, which is increasingly becoming a very important part of your general aptitude section for the GATE examination. I hope you found this series of questions helpful. Thank you so much for watching and all the very best for the exam.